Okay, now, all right, before we went into talking about um, project management, okay, so you really need to understand the concept of project, okay. So for every engineer, your job as a civil engineer, you are handling project for all the lifetime that you're going to be in engineering, in civil engineering. You're going to be in project, okay. You wouldn't have just a job, okay. It's going to be a 8 to 12 a.m. kind of job, okay. Why do I say that? Okay, because your job don't just finish, like a 8 to 5 kind of thing, when you are an engineer, when you have the responsibilities of being a professional person who brings about a project from design to reality. It is a lot of work, and you go by project. Once you finish a project after a year, you're going to be embarking onto another new project, another new project, another new project, and go on as forth until the day that you retire from the field. Okay, so you need to understand what is a project. A project is actually a contract. A contract, a project. This is all a very unique kind of situation that us as civil engineers we do. Okay, so for example, if you actually go to work in a bank, okay, so you basically go to work 8 o'clock, you start to do A B C D E F G H I J K, and then until about 5 o'clock you wrap up, 6 o'clock you close account, and then you go home. So this is the flow of work. There's a very specific flow of work for your work. Okay, so if you run a grocery stores, if you do a business, then everything is like there is a standard procedures, there's a SOP to it. But for us engineers, we are facing with different project every time we embark onto our job. Okay, so this year you're handling XYZ project, next year you're handling ABC project, this year you're handling one big mega project, but next year you're handling 5 small projects. So it is always about project. So what is a project? Project is actually something that is very temporary. It's a temporary exercise, it's temporary endeavors. Is to create a product. And then imagine you are actually in your job. If you have 100 projects, you're actually creating 100 products. That is how it is like. And then this product is not like 1 hour, 2 hours. It's not about 1 week, 2 weeks, or like writing a program. You create it over 1 month, 2 months. This is about years. Sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it's minimum 6 months, sometimes it's like 3 months, sometimes it's like 9 months, sometimes it's like 12 months. Most of the time it's 12 months and above, sometimes 36 months, 48 months. You'll be spending many years and years and years into projects, okay. And you create that unique product and unique service. It is unique. Do you realize that it is unique? Everything that you create is unique. So if you, I'm not saying that we are artists, that every piece of work that we create is unique, but actually it is, it is unique. Even if you build terrace houses in this project, next project you're also building terrace houses, but hey, the designs are different, the architects are different, or okay, even if you have the same architect, same designs, okay, but you are doing it at different span in time. You may have different contractors, you may have different resources, you may have different constraints, and then it may be a different site, it may be a different geotechnical a requirement, it may be a different roofing requirement. None of your project, okay, I can guarantee you, none of your project will be the same. Let's say if you're doing civil work, you're building drains from point A to point B, you build, let's say from Samarahan to Kuching, for example, new drains, but you're not going to do it ever again. Like even as you, once this project finish, you're not going to build another same drain again from Samarahan to Kuching. Okay, even if you are, you probably be building on the other side of the road, and it's a different thing, you see. So if you're building roads from, let's say, Pan Borneo Highway, you're not going to have Pan Borneo Highway all the time in your life. It's going to be just once in a lifetime. And your working life is only about 50 years maybe. Let's say if you start going out to work now, maximum you have is 50 years, okay, 23 years old, and you, let's say if you work until 70 plus, okay, you 50 years is the max. And project don't renew themselves in 50 years. Sometimes they do, but then you're not going to be able to, you may not be selected for the same project again, you see. So again, it is a very temporary endeavors, meaning there's a specific there's a specific time that you do for that particular project, and there's going to be a definite beginning, there's going to be a definite end, and the product that you create is unique because it will be different from the other product that you have, it will be varying, okay, and then that service will be varying. So this is the actual this is actually the why you say it's a project, because it's unique, it is one-off, it is finite because there's a starting, there's an ending. If you don't have finite, then you'll be in trouble, okay, because basically you will have an endless project, and that will be considered as a failed project. The project needs to end beautifully, delivering the project to the next person, to the client, who, or the end users, who is the next person who take up the usage of the project. And then it will involve many disciplines, it will be involving many people, it will be involving architects, other engineers, mechanical, electrical engineers, and then you'll be involving soil engineers, you may be involving hydraulics engineers, you may be involving QSs, you may be involving different contractors, very, very different contractors with different skill sets, with different profiles, with different abilities, okay. And then it is, engineering projects are all very complex, very skilled, and it will involve a lot of different people, it will be involving a lot of organization, okay, and it's very dynamic, everything, if I always say this to my students, if you say that, you're going to have a peaceful project, hello, you're not going to have it, okay, because every project is laden with its own problem, it's laden with its own issue. There may be some that is a bit less, but some that's a bit more, but it will always be unexpected issues, there will be problems that is abounding for you to solve, okay. So it is about solving problems, it's about decision making, it's about techniques, using the right techniques to come to the right conclusion, to deliver the results, to actually make a decision, okay. And it is a very dynamic environment. It is not a very stagnant environment. It's not a very SOP, standard procedures kind of environment that you'll be working in. It's very dynamic. There's always something that will surprise you, and that will require you to pick up the phone and make phone calls and have meetings, solve problems and all that. It is a very dynamic, it's a very stressful environment. And like I said, you don't go to sleep until 12 a.m. because why? Just an example, you start your day, you have meetings, you have phone calls, you visit the sites, you start to Google, and then there's a lot of things that's coming in. And then sometimes when you reach home, there will be more phone calls, there will be things that, weekends, people's site will be calling you, we have these issues, we need to sort it out by Monday, and you need to work on it, okay? So as a project manager, as a person, as an engineer, your job is not 9 to 5 actually. There will be people who's doing night work trying to repair pipes, there will be people who are doing connection work, there will be people who is doing joining work, facilities, old facilities, new facilities in the middle of the night, and not to say that you'll be visiting it, but then you will be resolving problem, you'll be receiving phone calls, and it's a very highly stressful kind of environment. It is not like working, in a cafe, or it's not like working in the banks. I mean, banks are stressful too, but then it's different kind of stress. But they have a lot of standard procedures and standard workload and things to flow and all that. But us, we don't have. We have a lot of unexpected environment. So it's a very interesting environment actually, to be honest. And project risk is actually high because a lot of monies are involved, a lot of times are involved. So if you can't deliver within the budget or within the time that is allocated to you, then you will be actually feeling the failures, and then the stress that comes with the failures, and there's a lot of things that may go wrong, and then that going wrong may create a very undesirable ending to a project. So basically, this is what a project is all about, okay? So you need to understand the definition of a project, and this is what we have been emphasizing in this particular recording number 3, okay?